Welcome in, folks. This is Lance, your Sacramento process server, and I'm a process server trainer and mentor. And I have William Mays here with me. William is a process server in Los Angeles, California. How you doing, William,
Woohoo.
this evening?
What's up, good sir? Hey, I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I can't complain. Praise God for waking me up this morning.
Okay, great, 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 great. So everybody that's watching, what I want you to do is make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed. So click that and then click that
Please
bell
do.
notification so that you can be notified when we go live again. So just to kind of give you a little bit, so if you don't know who I am I've been being serving documents. I'm a private investigator and a process server, and I've been serving documents since 2001. Ex-police officer, left the force to do private investigation work, and which led into process serving. And I learned the hard way. So basically, I learned the hard way of trial and error. And so what I did is I was like, look, let me teach people how to do this and mentor people how to do this. So that's how I kind of met William. So William,
Hey,
how did you
Lance.
find me? How did you find me?
Hey, Lance. Just a second ago, it said recording in progress.
Yeah,
So
I
you
just
have
turned
to.
it on. I just turned it on. I wasn't recording from the beginning. I forgot to click it on. So it's starting now. But
Oh,
we're on
you want to
YouTube live.
restart
No,
the?
we're live now on YouTube.
Oh, okay. We're
Yeah,
live on
we're
YouTube. Oh,
live on
okay.
YouTube. So
All
yeah,
right.
so how did you find me? How long have you been in the business? Kind of give us a little summary who you are and what you do, because I see you got the real estate stuff in the back. So what do
Right.
you
Right.
do? What do you do?
Yeah, so my name is William May of the California Mays.
Okay,
So yes, I'm a real estate agent, been a real estate agent for over 11 years. Uh um so I love helping people sell their homes for top dollar. So if you know anybody thinking about selling, get sold now, that's my slogan.
okay,
But uh I have a lot of different hats. I like one of my real estate mentors is like always have more than one hat. It's good you're selling real estate, but you want to do other things.
okay.
And so he told me about hey, you need to write a book and stuff. I was like, hey, I graduated from South Central. I don't know how to write a book. They didn't teach me how to do that.
Okay.
But I'm kind of techie, and I wrote 5 books, uh, but I dictated them, and then I paid somebody to an editor to make sure the grammar is right, spelling's right. And my first book, expired listings, uh came number 1 on Amazon. So,
Okay.
and then I did a couple Udemy courses. So, probably the beginning of last year sometime, or the year before, I was like, hey, I need another stream of income because I wear a lot of different hats.
Right,
I'm a
right,
real
right.
estate agent. Now I'm a process server. I also inspect properties for, different banks. Since I have my real estate license, I do
Okay.
BPOs. So I do different things, um, I saw Lance, TikTok. It's like how to make money now. I was like, yeah, I
Okay.
could do that. I used to be a courier. I
Okay.
used to own a school bus company for like around about like almost 10 years. Then I sold it to my brother. I still have my school bus license.
Mm-hmm.
Uh so I was like, yeah, my one of my probate attorneys had me deliver documents to somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know I was serving them until he
Okay.
he he was like, "Hey, come to my office and sign this." I was like, "What's what? I served somebody?" It's like, "Oh yeah, but they knew the paper was coming. It was
Okay.
for a living trust or something." So I was like, oh, "Okay," It's like, "Yeah, you could do 9 more of these before you need
Mm-hmm.
your license." I'm like, "Tell me more." He's like,
Okay.
"Yeah, this is a good little side hustle." I was like, "All right." So, it was in and out of my head. And then a couple months later, I saw, you know, um, Lance with his crazy cool videos. And I was like, oh, this is the guy I gotta talk to. So I
Yeah.
called him up, talked to his wife, you know, and she was like, oh, okay, she was policing,
Hmm.
and I got to talk to the man, the myth, the legend, and he was like, yeah, buy my course, and that was history. And
Okay.
I've been in the business for like a year and a half now, and
Okay.
I
So
still call him for advice.
he does, and he got some stories. We're gonna get to some of these stories. So let's tell. You're down in LA. What did you have to do to get your process server registration? Because everybody knows different states have different rules and becomes to what are the requirements to get your process server license or registration. So California, you have to get registered. So where did you go? How much did it cost? How long did it take? Tell us about your registration process down in LA.
Well, funny you should ask. Oh, you can't really see it. Well,
Okay.
um, so I'm renewing. So
Okay.
this is my certificate. I just paid for it. Just came in the mail today. So
Okay.
I'm renewing. So
Okay.
my renewal is in May. So now I have to call it's in Norwalk, I forget the place, but I have to go on the website, make an appointment, and then they say, hey, you need two passport photos or whatever. You need the money. You can't be a felon or something like that. I forget
Okay.
the credentials or whatever. And you go down there. I went down there when I was initially getting signed up,
Okay.
and it was a long process. You had to wait. And
Okay.
so I went there. I thought I'd just walk in. And lady was like, no, you have to make an appointment. So I tried to make an appointment. It was like 2 months later or something like that. And I called and it's like, oh, we had a cancellation. Can you come tomorrow? I was like, oh, yeah, I can.
Okay.
And I came, I had my passport photos. They had like a rinky dink camera, took my picture right there. And here you go. Here's your temporary card, and your permanent card will come back will be mailed to you once your background check is completed. So they,
Okay.
if
So
I'm
that's your live scan.
remembering, if
That's your live scan fingerprint that you had to take. Now, did
yeah,
they
I
do it?
believe
Did they do it on site, or did you have to go somewhere else to get your fingerprints?
I think I went somewhere else to get the live scan and the passport photos,
Okay.
but if I'm remembering correctly, they let me uh start serving without
Yeah.
my background check coming back.
Yeah. They do. They basically they get your money now,
Yeah.
and because yeah, I've had people that have taken my course who went to get their license,
Oh,
and they
okay.
gave them the temporary one, and then they
Uh-huh.
found something and then yanked it back.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All
So
right. So
now,
I remember
where
correctly.
did you get, how much did you pay for your process server bond? Was that hard to get? How was that involved in your licensing process?
No, I just did a Google search,
Okay.
and I paid the money. How much did I pay? I think maybe $100 or so. Not that
Okay.
much. You have to be bonded for, I think it's like $2,000 or something like
Right.
that. So, and you can't let it overlap. So that's why I did it early, and then go down there. And I think if I um apply before my date, then I don't need to live scan again for my background check.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what another company told me.
Okay.
So, but um, it's simple, but you need somebody to tell you what you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when you go to the website, for a process serving, like before, just a side note, it had a calendar when a process, when you could go in to set up an appointment for your process server license.
Right.
This time I could not find it. So I had to put it in my calendar, like for tomorrow to call, since I got my bond. Say, hey, I couldn't find the calendar to set up an appointment, but
Okay.
I'll call them and probably set that appointment, because people in Lancaster, Palmdale, different other places, they have to come from when I started. they would have to come to Norwalk to get their process server license.
Okay.
So, because that was the closest one. So, I guess when you're out in Sacramento, they'll probably have one out there, for you. But I
Right.
thought that was like crazy. It's like just one office. And that's what kind of scares me is like, I hope Norwalk still does it because I don't want to be driving to Timbuktu to renew. But
Okay.
hopefully I answered that for you.
Okay. And so you get your license. You're registered.
Here, you're served.
Do you know what to do? I mean, literally, how does people get? I mean, because when person is a process server, they're part of the legal field because they're delivering legal papers for court
Right,
purposes. So it has to be done correctly. And I know for myself, I learned the hard way,
right,
serving the wrong documents, serving, because there's time frames involved and when you can serve somebody. There's
right.
different kinds of serves like personal service, substituted service, drop service, service by mail. And so if you didn't take training, would how long would it have taken you to figure it out versus by you taking my training and having me
I'm
mentor you?
slow, so I've still been trying to figure it out.
Okay.
But yeah, your course really helped with that.
Okay.
And then also too, since I have my own business
Mm-hmm.
for those time frames, I just make sure that everything is simple and stupid.
Okay.
On my website, I just have no responsibility for anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you see, first of all, I'm not taking pictures of the documents, so don't upload pictures because I'm not going to accept them.
Right. Got to be
Go to
PDFs.
Kinko's or Office Depot, say, hey, can you email these documents to me? They'll probably charge you $1 or $2. You ask for
Right.
copies, it's gonna probably cost you, 10 or $20. Everybody's out trying to make $1. As far as I don't give any kind of legal advice. If they
Mm-hmm.
ask me, it's like, well, should I serve this document or that document? I would say, hey, talk to your legal counsel. If you don't have legal counsel, contact legal aid. If you don't have a legal aid, contact the clerk of the court. They'll tell you all the information you need to know. And then once you have that information, you go to my website, upload the documents, answer the questions, pay the fee, and I'll put it on the schedule. Uh,
Now, William's website link, if you're in LA, Los Angeles, and you need to serve some documents in the Los Angeles area, it's in the video description to his website. So that's a plug for his website. And also subscribe to William's YouTube channel. That link for that is right under in the video description as well. He's trying to get enough subscribers on there so he can monetize his YouTube channel. It has some good information on what he does and who he serves down there. Because I know Los
and who
Angeles.
do we love serving?
Tell him who's your favorite place to serve, William. Where's your favorite place?
This is one of the best things you'll learn when you take his course. You know, it could you could be out of state, you could be in Sacramento, you could be in Los Angeles, you could be in Orange County or whatever, but we want to serve registered agents.
There it is. There
Now,
it is.
myself, I love me some CT Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And yours, Lance, what is your
CSC
go-to?
Lawyers Incorporating Service, located at 2710 Gateway Oaks Drive, Suite 150 in Sacramento, California, 95833. And if anybody needs to serve CSC Lawyers, my link is in the video description as well. I go there every day. I take several every day. It's super simple, super easy. So now, have you ever worked for any other large companies, William, to as a process server? Tell us who they are, your experience with them, whether good or bad, because process serving, it's your own business, but you can work for somebody else. Now, maybe you may not be an employee, you might be a subcontractor, but
Mhm.
that's one way to get the business is working for somebody else that has like large government contracts and they have, lots of cases. I
Right.
don't do it because I don't need to because I have other sources of income like William does, other
Mm.
things that I do, and I just focus on marketing my business. But William has worked for some of these companies. So tell us some of these stories, who you work for, and and if you want to not say the name, that's fine. We can say the alphabet company, wink wink. It's up to you.
Right. Well, what I would suggest is if you're new at process serving, you're going to have to learn by doing. You're going to make mistakes, but with Lance's course, it will teach you the fundamentals and the mechanics. Just going out there and experiencing serving people, you have to, it's nothing like getting experience. And you're not, you can get one thing from a training video or a book, but it's another thing, actually talking to someone and they're saying, "What do you got? What do you need to learn how to overcome that, break it down, and defuse the situation if need be." But yeah, I would suggest if you're new, work with a company that starts with the alphabet.
A B C D E F G
EFG.
H I J. Y'all know who we talking about? If you know who we're talking about, put it in the comments. Comment put it in the comments if you
I'll
know
tell
who
you
we're
one
talking about.
thing. They'll run you like a dizzy hoe. They won't pay that much, but I was working for them, but it helped me get the experience on how to serve people and knock out these serves, like that.
Hmm.
I was working for them and don't get caught up in the in the process because I was getting so much work from them, you know, uh like I didn't want to turn it down, but I wouldn't, I was picking my work
Hmm.
and they pay $13, maybe the maximum like $25. So
Okay.
they had so much work, my range was around about like $18 to 25. I would try to get the most.
Okay.
And it would be maybe 200 orders in my zip code, but I'd be driving to different other zip codes to get those $20. And since they're like kind of like stacked around each other, it would make financial sense to
Hmm.
drive the 10 to 15 minutes over there. I wasn't
Okay.
driving like 30 minutes or 30 miles or something like that. They have so much work. And that's why I tell people, I was like, you want to get a process server company that's going to handle your business, not, you know, charge cheap and they never get the job done because
Hmm.
I've seen orders just time out around the corner from my house. I was like,
Hmm.
I ain't taking that for $11. I could walk around there and knock on the door. I'm not taking that for $11. I'm like,
Right.
no, you
Okay.
have to know your worth,
Right.
you know, and and I got in trouble with them and
Okay.
Lance.
You gonna tell it? I wasn't gonna say that. You can tell it.
No, you tell it. What was I doing, Lance?
You was dressed up as the UPS dude, or what was it, FedEx?
United Process Servers of America.
I told him I was like, "You're not supposed to be doing that. You can't." I don't tell any fibs. They know what is going on in advance because the time that I was deceitful to get somebody to show up, the guy was getting ready to jump on me.
Mhm.
So from then on, yeah, this is Lance. I'm a processor server. I got some legal papers for you. That's what I say. And if
Right,
they slam the door, they open the door. Okay. Well, I made my attempts. It's all about the
right.
process. I'm not using any kind of deceit or anything like that. So William was dressed up. What color was your shirt? A brown shirt on? A
Yeah,
UP?
Brown. At
A
first
United Postal
I
Service
had
hat on?
UPS on there, but
Okay.
I changed it, and I had me a hat. I think I showed you. I looked at just like UPS,
Nope,
And,
not me.
but Yeah, it was like, "No, you can't do that." And I was like, "Okay," you know?
Hmm.
And oh man, they had like a forum, and that
Okay.
forum blew up. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I know before the day's out, somebody powerful was gonna call me or corporate gonna call me. It was the next day, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah, this is so and so from ABC.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was like, yeah, we had an understanding that you was dressed up as UPS. I was like, yeah, I was. I didn't lie. Well, you
Hmm.
can't do that. I was like, okay, now I know that.
Hmm.
So, you know, but I worked for them for about 3 or 4 months,
Okay.
and they have a scaling system every month when it comes out, you see your ranking. So I was like,
Okay.
when I first started, I was like, way down the totem pole and stuff like that. But back to where I was saying, don't get caught up with the system, because I was like working so much. When you're working so much, you don't like try to build your business because you're working, and then when you get home, you're
Hmm.
tired, and then you're in that hamster wheel. So I thank the Lord that they fired me.
Okay.
We're independent contractors.
Right.
So and it was I think it was like February 1st of last year or something like that, or February 5th. It was like the first week. It was a Friday. And that's what pissed me off, was because you have to deliver these documents. Oh, I missed that. Let me know if I'm talking too much.
No, go
But
ahead.
with A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
Okay.
you have to attempt 6 or 7 times.
Hmm. For
Yeah,
$20?
for $20.
No, thank you.
You
No,
a
thank you.
happy hoe. So so and you had to do it at different times,
Hmm.
right? So I had me a system down pat where I would rotate my orders. It was like, all right, this stack is in the morning, this stack is in the afternoon, this stack is in the late afternoon, early evening, right?
Right.
And so um the first part of the month, when it came, well, the last part, I guess, like the first part of the last month or whatever, I was number 3 or 4, I forget, but I was just about number one. And I
Right.
believe if I would have got to the next month, I would have been number one, because I was knocking it out. And then when they needed somebody, I think that's what got me they let me go, is because when they needed somebody to handle something, they would call me and they say, "Hey, we need you to cover this." I was like, "Well, how much is paying?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you $30." I'm like, "No, thank you." It was like, then somebody else called me. It was like, "Well, we need this done, and how much will you charge?" I said, $100. He was like, "Okay." So I did it, because I told him, I was like, I got like 25, 30 serves a day, and
Hmm.
you want me to drop everything to get that one? I'm giving you my regular rate, you know.
Hmm.
And so I served it. I got it taken care of. And then the next like 2 weeks later, the guy called me again. I was like, "Hey, can you go back over there and try to serve them?" And they needed a stakeout. So they were like, "Yeah, $50, for 2 hours or something." I was like, all right, plus
Hmm.
$100, on top of that. So like 150. So, I wasn't able to get them, but I got the money. And then that Friday, that evening when I went out, I'm on my app. I can't log in. And I got
There it
I got
is.
like six things to do, right?
Hmm.
And this is Friday night traffic and all this other stuff. I was like, what's going on? So I come back home, see an email stating, yeah, you're an independent contractor. We decided to let you go, and this, that, and this. Any uncompleted serves will just pay you, and this, that, and that, and this. I'm like, what? And so it kind of pissed me off, but I
Mm-hmm.
was kind of happy because it took me off the hamster wheel. Long story short, but I'm a type of person that don't like wondering because I'm like, why you let me go? I kind of
Mm-hmm.
thought it was because of the how what I charged them to
Right.
handle that. So I'm in real estate. I got a bunch of numbers. I use Mojo Dialer, so
Mm-hmm.
it's like I cold call, to get
Right.
listings, right? I don't really work with buyers, but I cold call get listings. So I call, um, I called over there and, it's like, oh, because you see in the email who let you go, and then I
Right.
did a search and stuff like that.
Okay.
And it's like, oh, he busy and all this other stuff. I was like, oh, okay, that's okay.
So you gonna call from another number that they don't recognize and ask for.
No, I call from a number they recognize. I
Okay.
put I put in the call. It's different things you can do, but
Yeah. Spoof. You can spoof it.
yeah. So it's like my calling system. I put their number as the caller ID, and I
Uh-huh.
called his office, and he
Mm-hmm.
answered. It was like, yes, this is so and so. I was like, hey, this is William. And he was like,
How did you get
yeah,
through?
yeah, yeah. How can I help you? Because he already knew who it was. I
Uh-huh.
was like, yeah, I'm not asking for my job back. I know I'm an independent contractor. I just want to know what was the reason y'all let me go, because I'm like number two on the list of top processor in the
Right.
state of California. So, out of like three or 400. So how you let me go? I'm just curious. And he paused, and then he's like, I can't tell you officially and stuff, but you need to know who, I forget exactly how he said it, but don't bite the hand that feeds you. Don't, if we need you for something, don't be
Mm-hmm.
overcharging us.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, okay. And it was like my rate, what my worth was, he felt I was overcharging. That's why they let me go.
Hmm. Okay.
You know, and Lance charged more than me. So, but that helped me focus on my business. Now, my business is better. But yeah, you just want to use A, B, C, D, E,
To
F,
get
G,
your foot in the door to
just
learn the
just to
process.
learn the process serving and get out of there and get your own business
So
set
what are
up.
you doing to get your own clients right now? What are you doing to get your own clients?
What I'm doing is paying the Google gods.
Okay.
So paying AdWords or Google Business or whatever.
Okay.
So and that's tricky
Mm-hmm.
because you know uh they're always calling me. It's like, we need to help you with your keywords because you got a lot of negative keywords that we need to reactivate and stuff like that. I was like, no, Sacramento process server is not a keyword for me.
Right.
you know,
Okay.
Even process server is not a keyword for me.
No, not no.
Los Angeles County process server, Los
Mm-hmm.
Angeles process server, Inglewood process server. You have to nail it down and micro uh, fine tune, or you go broke paying Google because they don't know your business. They just want the money, you know, and
Okay.
you have to put the ad bid at a certain cap
Mm-hmm.
because they'll charge you the high heaven, and you end up spending it. So, but that's how I get my business. Also, too, I have my business card, so I send them a thank you card or something like that, and put them on the email campaign, and I have a link where when I send them their proof of service, I, s- I always say, hey, double check your proof of service with your legal team, your professional lawyer, or whoever. And if there's any changes, let me know immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Some people wait till last minute. Like, oh, they bounced it back. I was like, and my court date's tomorrow. I was like, why are you waiting so late?
Right. Right.
But also, I put in my Google review link so they can leave
Okay.
me a review. And a lot of people like the reviews. And Lance is smart. I told him I didn't have any Bing reviews or Yahoo reviews. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, because Yahoo polices it, you can't just send them a link and say, hey, but he told me put your page up and then, tell the person that's looking to give you a review, look for the review and find it. Then that way it'd be more organic. And now
Right.
I'm working on um more reviews. So,
Okay. Now, do you use any process server software?
oh yeah.
I mean, because I know when I first got started, you'd have 10 or 15 cases,
Uh-huh.
and then you're out serving, and then you get somebody calling
Just
you,
a
asking you,
few.
exactly, asking you, what happened? Did you serve it yet? And it's like, I just got overwhelmed. So I have the process server software that I use. So once the case is entered, as soon as I serve it, I just go in and log. It's an app on my phone. The client gets an email, and then it also has the proof of service forms in there that I fill out. Now you use yours a little different. So tell me about the process server software, the inbounding, especially the inbounding of cases, the billing of your cases, and who you're using as your process server software.
Well, we use the same software. I think I
Okay.
just take it to the next level and integrate it into my website.
Okay.
And do you want me to say the name?
Yeah, say the name. And there's a link if you want to get
Serve
this.
Manager.
If there's a link in that you can sign up in the video description, there's a link in there so you can sign up for Serve Manager. If you're a process
Yeah, I
server,
believe there's other
sign up for that because that's the way to go. It manages your jobs and it even does a lot. He uses a lot more than I do for billing and everything else and
yeah,
onboarding.
I believe there's other softwares out there, but
Mm-hmm.
since he schooled me, he's like, hey, I went through all this knucklehead stuff. This is the way to go, and it just made my business more streamlined. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I use Serve Manager, and a lot of times I get customers that need CSC lawyers served. I was like, hey, I got another deal for you, and I could share it through Serve Manager, and
Mm-hmm.
vice versa, and we
Mm-hmm.
both make money, you
Yep.
know. And like you said, it's very easy. So when they look at my website, well, my Google ad, sometimes they call me, and I have on my phone notepad, and with my, oh, thank you for calling, here's my website and my name and my number. So when they call me, it's like, yeah, we need a process server. I say, is it in Los Angeles? Because Los Angeles is big. I was like, no, I don't cover Palmdale, even that's in the county of Los Angeles. I just do maybe about 10
Mm-hmm.
or 15 miles around
Okay.
downtown LA, or Glendale for a CSC, I mean, for a CT corporation. So they call me, I send them a text, and I just tell them, hey, click on the link. When you get to my page, in the middle of the page, it says, click here to order service. And then I have all the services, and they click it. And once they upload the documents, pay the fee, they'll get an email confirmation. I'll get an email confirmation. And I let them know, I was like, my system is set up to keep you apprised every step of the way. So every time I make a attempt, after I input it in there, 30 seconds later, you're going to get an email with my notes and GPS and geotagged uh, pictures showing that I was actually at that address making an attempt. That way, other process servers might say they was there, but I'm actually showing you, And then once I'm finished,
I don't know if you can see it, but this is the app right here. It's on my phone. You can't see it,
yeah.
but this is the app. And I have videos in on my channel of how to use Serve Manager. I have videos on how to input the cases, because see, the client inputs them when they're filling it out for William. I haven't done that yet. So I input them the details when the
What?
people hire me.
That's too much
Um,
work.
it is, but I don't, me, my wife does it. So,
Oh, okay. He's a
so,
slave driver. And that's another thing. Oh, why is this the same name? That's crazy.
but literally, um, I have on my website, my order form to order process serving are the same exact fields that are in Serve Manager. So when somebody fills out on my website to order process serving, all you do is copy paste, copy paste, copy paste like 10 times. Now the order's in there, and then I send out an invoice and they pay the invoice. But I'm gonna look into doing that because that saves so much time and effort.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
could do you a quick introductional video and
mhm.
something.
Yeah, and
But
that
yeah,
saves
like
so
when
much
they go
time and
to
effort.
my website, Serve Manager has a custom link. I have like three links,
Okay,
but I mainly use one, and you can customize all your services.
okay,
So when they click on it, they'll see the services, and one of them, I say I have three different service types: same day,
hmm,
next day, or it's on the schedule within 3 to 5 days. That's the most popular for
okay,
$85. I was like,
okay,
oh, okay, what is same day? I was like $250. Oh, what is next day? I was like 150. But
okay,
you have these attorneys or lawyers, they don't care,
right,
and they'll pay it, the same day or whatever. But I have on the service page, for same day, you have to call and check with me to see if I'm
right,
free.
available.
So,
Okay,
yeah, but next day, if it's done before 2 o'clock, most likely I can put it on the schedule for the next day.
okay,
But yeah, so when they log in their information, upload the documents, it's a Skype link, it's like where they could put in their credit card information, go straight to Skype, and it puts it in my account, and I get paid before I even do the service.
okay.
So and that's good. And then one thing I like about Skype is uh I could cash out the same day, so if somebody pays an order, and I need to, add funds to my bank account, I just click,
Hmm.
process the funds,
Okay.
so usually within 48 hours it automatically deposited in my account. But I just love the system.
Okay. Cool. 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 So, you call me every couple of days with a story. You call me every few days with a
I probably
story.
don't even remember half the
So,
stories.
so
I
you,
need to write them. You told me I need to make videos on them.
yeah, you do, because there's some of them are funny, and it's like, you did what? What happened? So,
I was like,
what's the most memorable story that you can remember? So,
most rememberable.
yeah, which one that sticks out in your mind that
Well, I had one last night where I'm
okay,
emailing this lady, 5 or 6 dozen times. I don't know.
okay,
She needed a rush job,
mm-hmm,
but she didn't want to pay the 250. So she ended up paying the 150.
mm-hmm,
But before she paid, I asked, because she said she was out of state. And I said, well, before you place the order, you need to verify if your state needs the document notarized.
okay,
If it needs to be notarized, that's a separate $50 charge. I thought
okay,
it was 150. I was like, yes, ma'am. So came back, said, yeah, it needs to be notarized and stuff like that, you know. So she orders the service, right? And then she says, wait. I went to check to verify if it needs to be notarized. They said yes, it needs to be notarized, but my documents are out of date. So she had to wait 4 days, but she paid the 150, right?
mm-hmm,
So late Friday, she she emails me the updated documents. So that Saturday, I served them,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "Oh wow, thank you," and I take a picture of them and stuff. So also too, I don't have it with me, but a lot of times I'm holding my phone
Mm-hmm.
behind my clipboard, so I have my phone with my clipboard. Let
Mm-hmm.
me see. All
And you're
right.
filming people when you're acting standing there.
Well,
Yeah.
depend on the situation, but a lot of
Uh-huh.
times I just have it like this, but it's like, not conspicuous like that.
Right.
But I have one of those little buttons. So
Mm-hmm.
when I see them looking down, I take a picture without them knowing, without the shutter going, you know.
Mm-hmm. And
So that's why,
flash.
yeah, that's how I get a lot of people like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't put them on blast on the internet. I blur out their face and stuff like that. I'm not trying to get a process server to come into my house.
Okay.
Hey, William, how you doing? You've been served.
Uh-huh. Like,
So
that's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't open the
yeah.
door.
So basically the lady was like, I did everything she wanted to do. She wanted the documents for Monday. So I
Mm-hmm.
have an online notary, got it notarized, and I sent her the the notarized thing. All of a sudden now she's like complaining, "Oh, you charged me too much. This." Like, wait a minute, we already talked about that. So after a couple emails, I calmed her down. She's like, "Oh, okay, I understand." I was like, "No, you were trying to play me." But when I said, "Well, hey, I'll refund your money. I can't refund the 150 because I did the service, but I could not charge you for the notary,
Mm-hmm.
and you just don't use the document I gave you, and I'll make sure I call the court to tell them that you didn't pay for the document if you try to file it." All of a sudden, her tone changed. Like, "Oh well, okay, well, I see you did it real quick and all this other stuff." I'm like, "Okay," so
Mm-hmm.
but it it's been time. I always treat people with respect because
Right.
you don't know what they're going through.
Right.
Because I got served legal documents. Somebody next door to me fell off the house, busted their head wide open, and me and my father got sued. And I
Mm-hmm.
tried to do it like pro her, it's like, "Oh, I could do this." Cost me like about 4,500, $5,000 over like a year and a half. When I finally went to court, the judge, unprecedented, because it was slow that day, I guess, because it was only me and the other lawyer, and the other
Mm-hmm.
lawyer stepped in because the other one had a conflict on on dates.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't even a party. He just had to be there so it wouldn't get tossed out. And I told the judge, "Hey, it's not my building. They got the wrong building. I tried to contact them, this, that, this is the proof." And he was like, "Well, let me let me take off my judge uniform and let you meet a friend." This is like a white older
Mm-hmm.
judge. I'm like kind
Mm-hmm.
of amazed. And he was like, "Hey, I'm your friend. Get a lawyer." You know, and he did that a couple times. I was like kind of like taken back. I was like kind of upset, but I left the courtroom, and the other lawyers that in the 20 years I've been in the law game, I never seen that happen. And from what you're telling me, yes, you need to talk to a lawyer, and he could probably get this somebody,
Mm-hmm.
if it was crowded, he probably wouldn't have done that.
Right.
But he was looking out for you. And so I called a lawyer, came to my house, charged me like $200 or whatever. Said, "Hey, you did all my work for me." But what happened was, it of my, for people who don't know, joint tenancy
Mm-hmm.
is when you own a piece of property, split 50-50. So I was on legal title with my father, and we owned it 50-50. When I responded to all the legal mumbo jumbo, I responded as myself and for my father. I should have had my father reply and he's like 80 something years old at the time.
Mm-hmm.
His own,
Right.
because it's two different people they're
Right.
suing. So they could have like thrown it out for me, but my father wasn't there, so they could default on him, and we still would have lost. And the lawyer said, "Well, hey, uh, yeah, the judge did you a solid, And I was like, he was a black lawyer, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
I never heard that. Praise the Lord, And he emailed them. I mean, he faxed them that night, and then that Monday they dropped everything,
Okay.
And Fry's was still around that time, so I gave him, paid him. I sent him a check for $200 and sent him a Fry's gift card for $300. When he got the Fry's gift card, he was like, "Oh man, thank you. That's the grown up toy store." But that's why I treat people with respect, because even though you're serving them papers, you don't know what's going on. And the only time I was like really assaulted, I served this one lady, and it was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, um, child custody. They were still living together, and then the guy hired me again. He's like, "Yeah, she's leaving for work. I had to leave and all this other stuff." So I get over there, and I did something stupid. I I pulled in at the driveway, and she's backing out. And I get out of the car, and she's like, "Hey, you're blocking me." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because she was all nice and friendly before. I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Yolanda. I got a delivery for you." I was like, "What's the delivery? You look familiar." I was like, "Oh, legal documents." Legal documents. And then she started going like this on my chest, and I threw it in her car, and the neighbor was looking. I'm like, "Hey, that's assault." And she started jumping up and down, you know, she's like 20 something years old. But I didn't press charges or anything. I just gave her the legal documents, got in my car, took off. The ex-husband or whatever is like, "Well, we could call the cops and get her arrested." I'm like, "No, I'm not a party to that." And
Mm-hmm.
then that makes me a party to the case, and then I guess your server will be invalidated. You want your server to be invalidated? Oh no. I was like, well, um, I man. Oh, a funny one I had was two funny ones. I had twins. I knocked on the door, and a guy answered, and I was saying, "I'm looking for so and so."
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "How can I help you?" I was like, "Are you so and so?" I was like, "No, he's in the house. How can I help you?" I was like, "Oh, I got some legal documents for him." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then the other guy comes, and they're twins.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, then he tells homeboy, he's like, uh, he got some legal documents for you. He's like, "Oh, I'm not him, you know. And then they both saying, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm not him, I'm not him." I was like, "Well, both of y'all are brothers," so I just served it right there.
Okay.
uh, so that was funny.
Uh-huh.
And another time I knocked on the door, little kid answered the door. I said, "Yeah, I have a delivery for Marcus," it was a Spanish guy or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, my dad's home," and stuff like that. And then like, "Daddy, somebody's here," and I guess he knew what it was, what was it? And he's like, "Yeah, he's not here right now." I was like, "Oh, okay, my name's William. What's yours?" And he said something else. And the little boy was like, "Daddy, that's not your name. Your name is such and such, such and such." And then I went
Uh,
like this. He was like, "All right, all right."
mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, you probably remember some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I've
you
got
call
like,
me with a story every other day. Yeah. I need
yeah,
to start
so
making videos on your stories. I need to start making videos on your stories. Well, hey,
yeah,
William, I'm not gonna keep you much longer.
right.
So I want to thank everybody for watching this podcast episode of the Process Server Training Academy. William Mays, process server down in Los Angeles. So if you need documents served down there, his contact information is in the video description. Especially if you need to serve CT Corporation. If you get a case somewhere else and you need it done, he can do it for you. Now, I'm in Sacramento. So if you need anything served in Sacramento, my contact information is also in the video description. Now, I'm a process server trainer and mentor. If you're not a process server and you're just getting out started in the business, I have an online process server training course where I teach you who to serve, how to serve, and how to fill out the paperwork, which are the very important. That's just the basics, is very important. The link to that course is in the video description. And so I want to thank everybody for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Everybody have a great day.